Hello, everybody. This is Chris Butler with Rusty Barn. We are so excited to announce that we are going back to live shows. Upcoming May 20th through the 22nd, we will be live in Boise, Idaho at Expo, Idaho, which is the fairgrounds. And then following that, look at my calendar, June 17th through 19th, we will be in Oklahoma City. And that is at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds in Oklahoma. Anyway, we are so excited to be coming back live to you. In the meantime, please keep supporting Wild Wednesday Live. We appreciate you, and we will see you in the mall.
Hi, I am Beth Watts. I am your host today for Wild Wednesday Live. We'd like to welcome you to the Quilt Craft and Sew Festivals. We do this every Wednesday, so put it into your calendar, get your little reminders on the phone so that you never miss one. But if you do miss a Wild Wednesday Live, you can always go to YouTube or to Facebook and watch it at a different time. I also want to remind you that we are doing this live. We are quilters and crafters, designers and sewers. We are not really necessarily techie people, and we're all kind of working from our home. So if there's ever a problem with the feed, we will do our best to get it straightened out. But if it doesn't, we'll ask that interviewer to come back on at a different time. So we've got a great lineup for today. We have Linda McGehees from Gee's Bags and Barrow from BoNash, Patti Cakes, Handy Caddy. It's going to be super fun. You're going to learn a lot. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, if you can save them till the end, we will do a question and answers. We'll bring all the people that we're interviewing back on, and we will ask all your questions. So be sure to stay tuned to the end. And I'm just going to turn it right over to Linda because she's a professional. She's done this many, many times, and she has so much information that she's going to try to cram into her 15 minutes. So, Linda, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, now I see you. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm here. Can you hear? I can see you.
I can see you.
Okay, you're cutting out pretty bad. I hope I'm not cutting out pretty bad, but I'm going to talk anyway. And you.
Okay, we're going to turn it
right
over to you. Yep, we can hear you. We're going to turn it right over to you. Go ahead.
I'm not. Right. Okay, great. Thanks, Beth. It's wonderful to be with y'all today. Thanks so much for joining forward to go into the Boise show that's going to be in just a couple of weeks. So hopefully some of you will come there live to see us. I'll be hanging out with Beth to help her out there at the show. But today, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about flowers because things are starting to bloom here in the South. Although it did go down to 40 degrees tonight, we've already had azaleas, dogwoods, and lots of other blooms. When I play in my sewing room, then I like to play out in the yard. And I decided at some point that I wanted to create some embroidery flowers to be the hot thing going on. And I wanted to have dimensional flowers, not those flat cardboardy looking flowers that I'd seen before. So I had a chat with Linda Goodall, and we put together some designs that are dimensional and more like realistic flowers than the flat type flowers. To do this, we need to use organza, or we opted to start off with organza. And we have 20 colors of organza, and you can purchase it as fat quarters, purchase it by the yard, whatever makes you feel good. So we have a bundle of 20, a fat quarter of each one of them, if you want to go that out. You can take a look at this double layer of organza. The pink is on top of the purple, so it looks more pink. But if you flip it over, you get more of a purple look. So you're going to use this to your advantage to help you create the designs that we're working with. And the nylon organza is my preference. And I use the wash away sterilizer. Now this is wash away. If you touch water, it's going to disintegrate. You need to do this in a plastic bag if you're in a humid area like I am. Keep it stored in a plastic bag. Also, it's not one of those fabrics that you can your finger and push it over some. So keep your damp moisture away from the soaky. And I like the 12-inch wide roll, and it comes in like 9 yards, so they make a whole garden full of flowers. When you open a CD, and it is a multi-formatted CD, you'll notice that there's a lot of shapes. These shapes were taken from flowers that are in my yard, from gardenias, from azaleas, and if you look at the shape, sometimes a leaf, sometimes you may think it's a petal. So my philosophy is, if you put it on green fabric, it's a leaf. If you put it on a pretty color fabric, it has a flower petal. So we're going to stitch out the designs. Well, we need to hoop the fabric first.
Linda, you keep. Well, Linda, can you hear me? You keep cutting out. Do you want to sign out and sign back in, and let's see if we get a better reception? Because you keep freezing. So try signing out and signing back in, and maybe I'll see if Beryl's ready.
Okay.
While you. Yep.
So leave.
Yep. Sign out and then go to your email to the link and then sign back in. Can you hear me?
It's not even letting me leave.
You should be able to hit the red X. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, ladies. Sometimes we do have this problem because we're all working from our homes or our studios in rural areas in a lot of cases. So we don't necessarily have the best connections. I know for me personally, we have really struggled over the last year trying. I mean, at one point we had Spectrum out here a couple times a week trying to get our internet good. So if Beryl's ready, we can bring Beryl on and see how that goes. Hey, Beryl, it's really good to see you. It's been like a year and a few days.
A long time.
Yes.
I miss going to the shows.
Me too, but they're going to start again soon. So very soon we'll be able to have a glass of wine or something.
Great.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to turn it right over to you because I love to watch your demos.
Thanks, Beth. Thank you. And I know you use our products, and I know you sell them and everything else. And we just thought, well, why don't we just show everybody our normal show demonstration, because we can't get out there anymore to show everybody up close and personal. So we thought, well, let's give it a go online doing this one, and everybody can see what we do. So I'm just going to get straight into it, and we're going to show you all the ways you can use Fuse It powder. And you can use it for all sorts of things like turning a hem, basting your quilts, doing your applique, your surface design, all your fun stuff. But everybody remembers it because it mends things. And if you've got any rips, any tears, moth holes, cigarette burns, all sorts of stuff, you're going to be able to fix them. So, and if you've got an old quilt, ladies, where fabric is missing, I can show you how to fix that as well, even if it's an heirloom quilt where all the fabric's gone missing over the years. So let me start by just explaining a little bit about the pressing sheet. Now, this is fiberglass and it's impregnated with Teflon. So it's a little bit different to your regular Teflon sheets because, first of all, it doesn't matter how many times you fold it over, it's going to go back flat again. And it comes with a lifetime's warranty, so you'll never need to replace it. Now, if you work with things like glue guns and paints and waxes and all the sticky icky stuff like your fusibles, your starches, your interfacings, use the sheet as a work surface as well. Because anything that goes on here, even nail polish, which we all know doesn't come off anything, it just literally peels off the sheet. Can you see that? So you can just peel it off, wipe it clean, and start again the next time. Now, if you're doing like me with a hot iron, then it's really good with the sheet because it allows the heat to penetrate, to melt the powder, but you're not going to damage any of the delicate stuff. So you can work on even the most delicate fabrics. You don't have to worry about it. Now, what I'm going to do first of all is just show you the basic idea of using our powder by turning up a hem. And if any of you are out there are a little bit height challenged, then you probably end up hemming pants quite a lot of the time. Well, all you need to do is mark down with the iron the hem that you want. You don't even have to bother double hemming. Once it's bonded, it doesn't fray. You're just going to sprinkle over a little of the powder. You don't need a lot. Certainly on a lightweight fabric, it's not necessary. Just brush away the excess, cover with your sheet, and apply the heat. You need a couple of seconds on one side, a couple of seconds on the other. Now, if you're doing jeans, I would recommend that you use a little bit more powder and leave the iron there a little bit longer just to let the heat penetrate. But everything washes, dry cleans, tumble dries as many times as you want it to. And it stays beautifully soft and flexible. Even working on a blind hem on silk, you will absolutely love it. Now for basting, this is going to save you so much time. So any of you quilters out there, the way that I recommend you use it is like salt on your dinner. Now, what does that mean? You're not supposed to use very much, am I right? Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. Well, that's what we're going to tell you to do here. You're just going to use the powder very sparingly, just sprinkle it over, place your fabric and your batting together, and you iron it. Now here, I'm not using the pressing sheet because I'm working with cotton on a cotton setting. If I was doing something more delicate, then I'd use the pressing sheet to protect everything. Sprinkle over on the other side, just like salt on your dinner, remember? Place your fabric and your batting together and iron it just the same. A couple of seconds is all that's needed. Now, there's no pins to get in the way when you stitch it. It doesn't gum your needles up, ladies. It stays beautifully soft and flexible. And it's not like that spray stuff that goes everywhere. You don't have to open the windows. This is completely non-toxic. And it's repositionable. So if you've made a mistake, you can actually reposition it very easily. And then all you need to do is reheat it in the correct position. Now, isn't that a great idea? Can you imagine the time it's actually going to save you? That's basting your quilts. But you know, if you're into the fun stuff, so if you're doing any applique, what about things like laces? Here, we've got lace onto chiffon. There's no other way of putting that on there except with our bonding powder. But there's so much fun stuff that you can actually do. So let me show you how to apply a little piece of lace or maybe a bit of ribbon. And all you're going to do, first of all, is spritz the back with a bit of water. Now, the reason I do that is so when I sprinkle the powder over, the powder will adhere to the moisture. Shake off your excess and you've got what you want where you want it. The excess, you can actually recycle and use again, or you can recycle it just like I do because that works really well. Now, not only does it work on your fabrics, it'll work on all different types of surfaces. So for your craft projects, you can do things like paper, cardboard, wood, metal, ceramics in exactly the same way. So everything is so easy, quick, and simple to do. And remember, everything stays beautifully soft and flexible. So even on little children's onesies, you're not going to get that hard feeling. And you can stitch it if you want to, or you can just leave it as we've done here and add a little bit of glitter paint to it just to make it pop. Now, although it is delicate enough to put a piece of lace onto chiffon, it's strong enough to do your badges and your patches. And it washes, dry cleans, tumble dries as many times as you want it to. For your applique projects, it's absolutely fantastic. You can actually make your own applique pieces by just simply sprinkling the powder, ironing between the non-stick sheet. And now you've got the fusing already prepared on the back there. And then all you have to do is pop it where you want it on your fabric and reheat it to reactivate the powder. Now, ladies, it acts as a fray check, so it's perfect for your raw edged applique. Now, if you are going to use it in something like foiling, well, this works really, really well. Oh, and by the way, oh, I got Fern to move the camera there, but I was coming back here. You see, I've left the iron here a long time, haven't I? And I do that on purpose so you can see how good the fiberglass sheet is. I'm using a very hot iron. It's sitting on top of a piece of paper and a piece of lace. Not normally a very good idea, but because I'm using the sheet, I don't have to worry about it because it's all protected. So let's go back to the foiling now, because I think this is so, so fun. And what you're going to do, a little bit of powder gives you a glittery effect. So even on something delicate like your foil, like your tulle and your chiffon, you can get that glittery effect quite easily. And when you use more powder, you will get more of the foil coming off. So you just, again, sprinkle it, and you can use stencils if you want to get the design. That goes over the top. Remember the pressing sheet to protect, and you just run the iron over it. Now, I usually recommend that you just leave it to cool down and then peel the foil off. But to save time, we're just going to do it all in one go. So we're just going to peel that apart. And you see how effective that is? It really works well, doesn't it? What about Angelina fibers? Well, these are the ones that give a lot of 3D effects on your fabric. This is our samurai here. If you've been to the shows, you'll always see him hanging up at the side on our booth. And, you know, it just gives you nice 3D effects. This is Angelina that was actually just fused together between the pressing sheet and added with a bit of powder to get the lace on there. So it just gives you a little scarf of the Angelina fiber. Now, Linda Ramrath has a great technique she uses the powder for, and that's these effects called imagination quilts. And all you have to do here is chop your fabric up with a rotary cutter, mix it with a little bit of the bonding powder, and just put everything where you want it. And then lay over your pressing sheet, iron it in one go, and then you can free motion through there because you won't gum the needles up. But it really works great for all of these craft ideas and just fun stuff. But, you know, I need to get onto the serious stuff now, because if you've got any rips, tears, cigarette burns, moth holes, your old quilts with a whole lot of rip in them, let me show you how you can fix those. So first of all, I'm just going to wipe off my little sheet just to get rid of any of the excess powder. And that's all you do each time you use it, and it's ready for the next time. Let me ask a question. How many of you out there have ended up slipping with a rotary cutter at some point and ending up with something like that on a new piece of fabric? Well, don't cry anymore, because I'm going to show you how to fix it, and it'll be invisible. So what you're going to do, if you can get to the wrong side, you're going to turn it to the wrong side, like on a new piece of fabric. I'll show you how to do something where you can't get to the wrong side in a second, but we're just going to put everything back together again, and then sprinkle over a little of the powder. You don't need a lot. And if you keep it in a cupboard, it just lasts indefinitely. It lasts for absolutely ages. And then we're going to use a little patch. Now, I recommend lightweight cotton for patches. And I use patches that look different so you can see clearly what I'm doing. But if I was going to do this at home, I'd use a piece of a similar fabric on the wrong side, and then it'll be virtually invisible here as well as on the right side as well. So all we're going to do is place that over the top, blow away the excess, cover with the sheet, and apply the heat. And you just need a couple of seconds one side, a couple of seconds the other. Now, what happens if you can't get to the wrong side? What about if you're doing something like a quilt? or some upholstery or a comforter. Well, what I did on the quilt over here was actually, this is what it looked like. And I put the patch through the tear, and then I fused the pieces of the quilt back over the top again. And then it fuses it back together and it becomes virtually invisible. So that one, I just worked on the right side only. This one, I was able to do the wrong side, and I just had a little bit more heat. Now, all of this washes, dry cleans, tumble dries as many times as you want it to, okay? So don't worry about that. And hopefully you can't see where I've done it. Good, huh? Now, one thing I do like to add, this is a great product, but it's not magic. What happens in certain instances, like for instance, if you've washed your jeans several times and you've got all those loose threads, you're obviously not going to make it look as good as this one is. But ladies and gentlemen, it'll put it back together again. It'll act as a fray check, and it looks better than a zigzag stitch, which is what you normally have to do anyway. Now, the last thing I'm going to show is how to fix a hole. Because if you have material missing, oh, by the way, one thing I do want to show you here, this is a piece of fabric, exactly the same, okay? That one you saw me do, and this one is from our last show. And when I was doing demonstration after demonstration, they all ended up with all those rips, tears all over that piece of fabric. But it doesn't look any different from the original. Now, if you have a hole and you have material missing, generally you can't get it repaired at all because there's nothing for them to reweave. Well, what you're going to do, and I have two different techniques, so hopefully I can get them both done. By the way, if you have any loose threads, you can pull those away, or you can trim a little piece of a hem or a seam somewhere, or you can pull a few threads out, or you can even take a razor blade and take a bit of pilling off a sweatshirt or a nice fluffy sweater. So this works on those types of things like a suiting, a sweater, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt. What you're going to do is chop it up as fine as you can. The finer you can chop it up, the better it's going to work. So you just keep chopping it up and chopping it up and chopping it up until it looks a little bit like fluff. Now mix it with a little bit of your bonding powder. You don't need a lot again. And you're just going to roll it into a little ball in your fingers. And then, whoops, I dropped a little bit there. So let me take a bit more. Roll it into a little ball. And then you're going to work on the wrong side, the inside, and you're going to push it down into that hole. Add a little bit more of your bonding powder, another little patch to cover it over, cover with the sheet, and apply the heat. Now I'm showing you here a technique where chopping it up works. When I repaired my husband's shirt here, we didn't want to chop it up because it's got a pattern in it. So what I did was I found a piece of extra fabric, and I actually found it here on the yoke where nobody's going to notice if it's missing. And I just literally pieced it in onto the shirt. And hopefully, again, you can't really tell where I've actually done that. And this is why when we go to the shows, we like to do this so people can get really up close and have a pick and a poke. And I can't tell you how many people try and pull them apart when we do that. But they really do wash, dry, clean, tumble dry as many times as you want it to. And you saw me put the hole there. And you can see again, oh, I don't know, am I holding it in the right place? So
You're good.
You can't see, huh? Good. Now, when we did the old quilt, I obviously didn't have any fabric at all. So I had to use the printable fabric sheets, and I copied the pattern onto a new piece of fabric. And then I was able to actually piece it back in again. So this section here is actually pieced in with a new piece of copied fabric. Isn't that a great idea for your old quilts? I think so. So I hope you do too. So they're just a few of our little tips and hints and techniques of using the Fuse It powder. And before I get on to show you that, I just have one last thing. Because if you work with fusibles and starches and interfacings and all the sticky icky stuff, what happens to the base of your iron, ladies? It gets all gunked up, doesn't it? Well, watch this. These iron clean sheets are absolutely fantastic. You lay one of these sheets on top of a paper towel, you drape it over the edge of your ironing board, and you simply wipe your iron over it. And did you see what I did? It takes all the gunk from the base of the iron to the sheet, and you can use it over and over and over again until it doesn't work anymore. There's 10 of those sheets in a pack. They're absolutely fantastic. And this is our special. When we go to shows, we always do a show special. It's the only place we do it. It's much better, better than the retail pricing. So this is what we're going to do here today. This is our show special here today. And in your, whoops-a-daisy, in your show special, you're going to get the 2-ounce powder, twice as big as the one that I was working with. And there's enough in there to baste 2 queen-size quilts or hundreds of repairs. You're going to get one of the 24 by 18 sheets, twice as big as what I've been demonstrating with. Normally sells at just $20 on its own. You're going to get the DVD of all the ways to use it so you can watch it at your leisure, and I'm not galloping through like I am here today. A set of the iron cleaning sheets and a stain bar. This is an English company called Astonish, and they have a whole range of non-toxic, fantastic products that we sell along with a lot of other stuff. And it's the best stain remover you will ever use. So we're going to pop one of those in for you to try as well. Now, if you bought this off our website or anywhere else, you'd be paying $50, and there'd be shipping on top if you had to send away for it at the moment. So we're doing the complete set for $30 as our special to you for just watching and being here today on Wild Wednesday. I hope you like everything. Absolutely fantastic. And one thing I will tell you, the way we had to do it on the website was we said it was a $25 set with $5 shipping because we couldn't get the coupon code to work properly. So it's a $30 set, including your shipping anyway. So hopefully that all works out for you. And I didn't run over time, did I?
No, you're fine. You're fine. We love the demos. That was super informational. I have all those products. I sell all of those products in my shop. But it's always great to get a refresher and get all the new tips and tricks and things that you kind of forget. It's when you're at the show, you're so excited, you buy it up, and it's good to be reminded on how to use them. So perfect. Thank you. I hope you stay because at the end, I've got several questions for you that they've already typed in, even though they're supposed to wait till the end. You got to type it in while you're thinking about it.
We'll be here.
Perfect. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Beth.
All righty. Okay, we are going to, I believe that that Linda is back. So let's try this again. Linda, are you there? I wonder if she's having weather problems or something, because I just interviewed her on Fabric Chicks and we didn't have any problems. But all I see is a black screen. Okay, go quick, Linda. Let's see if we can do this.
I see me. I see me. There we go. Okay. She's cutting out a little bit for me, so it could be the weather that's over here. I'm not sure. I want to mess with that. Where we draw, I'll kind of start from the beginning. We're going to take a look at realistic flowers that are made on an embroidery machine. And several years ago, Linda Goodall and I got together, and I told her that I needed somebody to do some designs. I wanted them to be very dimensional and to look like real flowers, not this layered, too much thread, heavy stuff. So we have, I designed and she digitized for me a CD. There's 37 different shapes on here. And you actually embroidery some of them and put them together. Some other are put together a different way, but there's a PDF to show you exactly how they work. We're working with pieces that look like flowers. This happens to be one piece where the petals have been put together. Other times you'd be working with individual petals. But process to create flowers that look very dimensional like this, we're going to need organza. And we have 20 colors of organza that you can purchase by the yard or by the fat quarter. And I like to work with 2 layers just because you need the support for the thread. Have a purple, it has a little under. If you show it on the pink side, it's a little bit more pink. So in this, you can create a variety of colors without having to do a lot of stitching. You're going to sandwich a layer of wash away stabilizer, and this is a wash away stabilizer. You don't want to wet it before it's time. You don't want to lick your fingers and rub the stabilizer because you'll put a hole in it. Store it in a plastic bag, particularly if you live in an area that's humid, my area, which is Louisiana. But you will sandwich the 2 layers of organza between, with the stabilizer in between, and then you will hoop the layers. Now, because organza is so thin, one tip is to use some of the liners that you use in your drawers or in cabinets and cut a window in the inside. And this fills in the space on your hoop so that the stabilizer and the organza doesn't slip out and you can get a better grip in your stitching. This one was ready to sew and I started sewing, I pulled it out and then it's flopped out of the hoop. So I still have a little bit of good space down here. Now, you want to make sure your design doesn't go into this white, the shelf liner. So make sure the design is on the inside. And I go ahead and fill up the hoop with designs. If I can almost get a design in there, then I'll shrink it slightly just so I don't have to waste my organza. Now, I'm going to back up and a bit about BoNash. I will make some other colorations in between the layers of organza. So I cut up some leftover tidbits of organza and sandwiched them in there with a little bit of the powder. Now, when you press, you do need to use a Teflon sheet because you don't want to put an iron directly on nylon organza. I like nylon organza because it melts. I don't want it in the stitching process. When you begin to stitch, you should top stitching needle. And whatever is your basic color of thread or your dominant color thread, you will wind bobbin in. You may end up changing the color threads in the needle, but you don't want to have to change the colors of thread in the bobbin as you progress. We're going to see both sides of our design. And oh my goodness, I steamed all my designs in there in the other room. I might do a quick run and go get them. But these designs flip over there. I mean, all flowers, same thing. So we want to be able to see pretty on the underneath side. So you're using good thread in the bobbin as well as the needle. And because I have a tendency to change between metallic thread and polyester thread, all in the same project, a top stitching needle will accommodate those threads. You're going to stitch your designs, and then we need to trim the edges. Now, it's my preference to use a 5-inch craft scissor, and I love the Kai with this nice sharp point. I also have a pair that has a slight curve to them. Either one of them is good to work. You don't need big honking scissors to trim, and you don't want to use little tiny scissors because you might spring the point. So you're going to trim your petals, And then we're going to build a base on something that's stable. To teach a lot of classes on alternate scraps of old suede, so that work perfectly as a base. So does um, something like a felt, anything that doesn't, the leaves where I would like them to be. And I'm going to place the flowers on top. At the back, you can see that we're stitching out the center, halfway out the center, halfway out the center, halfway out the center. Your stitching is actually done on the top side. In this instance, I have pink side showing of the organza. In that instance, I have the red side showing. Flowers aren't the same on the top and the bottom. There's no reason that your flowers have to be exactly alike all the time. So it's okay to flip-flop your pieces. The next flower petal that I put on top, I'm going to stagger the petals because Mother Nature staggers things. And I will stitch out halfway, the same as I did the other layer. Now you could, sometimes I do 2 layers, sometimes I do 3 layers. A lot of people like to make daisies, and there is a specific daisy pattern. There's also a specific dogwood pattern. But I have a tendency to do these multi-petals. I think there's about 8 petals there, stack them. If you're thinking about a daisy is yellow in the center and white on the outside, but actually there are over 1,000 variety of daisies, including all the colors they make. So you can't go wrong whatever color you want to make it, and however many layers of petals you want to put in it. It's your flower. You can copy Mother Nature any way you want to. After you have layers together, I like to use buttons. Now, if you were on my website today and received my newsletter, I did use in one of the pictures that I showed, there was a flower that had holes in it, and I used a heavier thread to come in the holes and tie it off so that it looks like stamen. This is a shank button, and my preference is to use a button with holes rather than a shank, because the shank button you're going to have to put in by hand. But that's okay. Sometimes you got to have something to do while you're watching TV. After you have put your flower together, you will remove just a little bit of the suede. We don't want this suede or our backing peeking out. And you will rinse the flower. You do not want to completely rinse the stabilizer out, because if you do, the flower will go flat like you see it now. This flower still has the stabilizer in it. So you will leave a little bit of the stabilizer in, and the edges of your flower can curl just like real flowers do. Real flowers are not flat. They flip forwards, they flip backwards, they have all sorts of texture to them. Now, don't go away. Stay there for 2 seconds. I will be right back. And this time, I'm actually working with a poinsettia brack. Poinsettia doesn't have leaves, they have bracts. That's a science thing. I just accept some of it. If you make it purple, you can call it some other kind of flower. I have used little tidbits of organza or heavy threads in between the layers of organza to make each petal look different. You can see how they grow, and look at that wonderful button in the center. Is actually a leaf. But as I mentioned when I first started talking the first time, if the petal or the leaf is green, it's a leaf. If it's a pretty color, then it's a flower petal. That's my mentality. So I use the gardenia shape as a petal. I use the azalea shape as a petal, but I also have other petal shapes, and you make them whatever color you want. The greens in organza are very limited in color. However, If you change the color of thread so that it does not match, if you make it more olive as opposed to more blue-green, it will actually change the color of the organza. When these petals were wet, then they were curled to the center, or when they were damp, they were curled to the center so that they gave the flower a different look. There's all sorts of ways you can play with this. And once you get started, you can just go on and on and on and make all sorts of bouquets of beautiful flowers. It's real fun to try to copy nature. And when you think of nature, nothing in nature is perfect, yet everything is perfect. So that's what you can think in terms of for your embroidery. Now, I put together some collections on our website, and on the shopping link, it'll go directly to the area where I put those specials, and we're actually talking about the embroidery designs. But I put some collection of everything together, and that's where your best price is. Or you can get just the organza or just the stabilizer. Maybe you need top stitching needles. You have everything else. I do have two collections of thread, and one of them is considered the brights. So they're oranges and pinks, purples, of course, and greens. And then there's another that's more pastel that takes care of your lighter flowers like your daisies, some of your paler poinsettias. So there's two groups of threads to get you started. There's 20 shades of organza. There's stabilizer. And I want you to really have fun playing with these flowers. Now, I'll leave one because I think I still have a couple minutes. Once I have trimmed my petals, you'll notice that there is still a little bit of organza peeking out. And you may use a soldering iron. This is a heat tool to go when you're going around the edge. This is something you pay attention to what you're doing. You don't talk to your friend and do this because you'll have burned petals. This is the reason that I like nylon organza. Nylon melts. If you use cotton or silk, both of those fibers burn. You would have a brown edge, and you don't want old flowers. You want pretty, fresh flowers. One day I decided I wasn't excited about doing all the trimming, so I fuzzed the edge of the petals. And there are flowers in nature that have this look. I know some of you don't like to plant in the garden, but when you get those magazines in the fall about flowers, planting some bulbs for the spring, take a look at the pictures because you can get some really good ideas of color and ways that you can build by taking a look at them. I hope you have fun playing with flowers. Please go to our website at McGehees.com. And go to the Boise show. I'm going to be up there in Beth's booth helping her out and getting back in the swing of things of being around people and enjoying shopping the show. So thank you so much for visiting with me today. Get on my website, sign up for a zipper class that's coming shortly next week on National Zipper Day. Might have a few other webinars happening in the near future, and stay in touch. I love to hear from you.
Perfect.
Have fun with
thank
your
you
sewing.
So much, Linda.
And thank you.
Perfect. And if you can stay, because we've got questions for you at the end. So stay tuned, and we'll bring you back in a little bit. All right. So I want to just go over a little bit of housekeeping. I want to remind everybody, and we are sorry for the technical issues. All of us vendors and designers and shop owners and all of us that are doing these interviews, we're all working out of our homes and our shops. Some of us are pretty rural, so we really have no control over the internet. So I just want to remind you that we are doing the best that we can, basically. Sometimes we have issues, sometimes we don't. It could be weather, it could be anything. But bear with us. We have lots of good information to bring to you, lots of good demos. So I want to remind you, one, I know you're all waiting for this, the code word, and don't type this in unless you want to win. Okay. So we don't want to have to spend time. Poor Raylene is spending a lot of time tracking you guys down for your free prizes. So if you don't want to win, do not type this word in. But if you want to win, we have a bunch of good prizes. Linda from McGehees, she was our interviewer we just heard. She's got 15 organza fat quarters that she's giving away to some lucky person. We've got BoNash is doing the kit that she demoed, and Quilters Haven has 2 digital patriotic panels. Handy Caddy has a set with a deluxe caddy for $130 value. So super fun, great prizes today. But I do want to remind you, if you ever miss a live event, you can always sign up for our YouTube channel. You can watch them anytime. You can come to the Facebook page, watch it anytime. All of the products that are being demoed today, there's a special place on the website, which is the quiltcraftsomall.com, which is flowing at the bottom of your screen. There's a special place that you can click for the vendor specials that are demoing on today. But we also have another special place on the website where we have all of the vendors are able to put their specials for the week, and the weekly specials do change weekly. So you're going to want to come back to the website all the time and see what's going on. We're also going to be doing something a little bit different when we get to Boise. What is it? May 20th, I believe. The week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of May 20th. We will be doing our Wild Wednesday live on Wednesday, but it'll be a little bit shorter because we do have booths that we have to set up. But we'll be doing on that week, on that Thursday and Friday, we will be doing special interviews live from the show at 3 o'clock. So tune in at 3 o'clock on Thursday and Friday for those. We've got a lot of things planned. So stay tuned. And let's see what else. The discounts that are being offered today are good through Thursday, tomorrow night at midnight. So be sure you get in and shop right away. And your door prizes need to be claimed by Friday night at midnight. So that's all of the housekeeping we have. I am going to turn it over to Sharon. Are you there, Sharon, from Handy Caddy?
So, can you hear me?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's good to see you. I'm just going to turn it right over to you so we can make up a little bit of time.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, ladies, thank you for being here. And I'm really excited to be able to show you the Handy Caddies. You might already know about them. However, you may not realize just how much you can pack in a Handy Caddy. And I realize what an advantage it is to be home, because I have Handy Caddies all over my house. I have Handy Caddies in my office. And can you hear me? Are we in? Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Awesome.
Wait, just 1 second. I'm just going to interrupt you because I forgot to say the code word. And so
yeah, what's the code word?
Applique. Okay,
applique.
Can you spell that? Applique. Code word. Type it in if you
want.
Oh,
we don't have to spell it right? No. We can just type it any way you can or spell check it. Applique is the password.
Yep. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. So I wanted to show you, I would never take all of the stuff that's inside my Handy Caddy to the shows, because I can put it's probably about 10 pounds of stuff if I wanted to. This is my Handy Caddy that I use in the office, and actually my tax stuff is in here. So I keep one separate one for my a Handy Caddy that I can put my yearly tax pieces of paper in here, and whatever I want to put in the pockets. I have 8 pockets. There's pockets on the back, pockets on the front. So this is my office version of my Handy Caddy. And the reason why I'm here in the quilting world is because I wanted to have a Handy Caddy that I could put all of my tools in. So I have various scissors and markers, and at the shows I usually demonstrate how I organize my Handy Caddy, because I put this right next to my sewing machine. So in the first pocket I put my little sewing tools, the things that I always use next to the sewing machine. So I use a seam ripper, little scissors. I even have tweezers. I have a little wooden iron. So you can use this handy caddy and you can just like stuff it full of your stuff. And I just want to give you a little preview. You can go to my website. Let's see, that's really interesting that there's something in the background of my shirt. I don't get what that is, but this is yellow. And it's called a corner cutter. And this is what I use for making my masks and having them made symmetrical. So here's the mask that it makes. This is called the 3D or an octagon mask. I can demonstrate what it looks like. I'm going to move my screen up. So these are the masks that I'm making with this. And the trick is when you're making a mask, if you don't make your corners symmetrical, then you're going to have a wonky mask. So that's what this is for. It cuts a perfect 2-inch corner symmetrically. I also have a corner that's 1 1/4 inches for like a toddler size mask or for a teen size. So each side of these are different. And that's going to make your corner cutting so easy. That's on my website. So I just wanted to say that this was inside my handy caddy. I wanted to share that with you. And also I have templates for the Olsen style mask. So if you went onto my website, you'd be able to see all kinds of fun things in there. So anyway, let me get back to the handy caddies. With the plum set, this has 5 different pieces to it. It comes in plum, it comes in a nice red, and it comes in a classic steel gray color. And there's 5 pieces to this particular handy caddy. You're going to get the frame. Well, let's see. Maybe this might be easier. Let's not look at me. Let's look at what I've got. So there's a frame. There's a carrying strap. And when you carry it, if you wanted to take it like from your sewing machine to your cutting table, you will put the strap and attach it at the frame at the opposite end of the frame, so it will hold everything, and the strap is adjustable. There you go. And then one of the things that I added here is a little Velcro tab, and what that does is that it prevents you from overfilling your bag. You won't be able to rip the seams here. So your handy caddy is going to last you really forever. And I'd like to retire, so I'm having a really, really good deal on the handy caddy. But let me continue. Now the handy caddy, when you want to take it to a class or you want to travel with it, and we will be going to retreats. I bet we're going to be really excited about doing retreats soon. So you're going to take all your products, and so you don't lose them, I designed a tote bag. The tote bag carries everything, and it zips up completely all the way to the end, so you won't lose anything. And I've added a pocket, a sleeve, a traveling sleeve, so that you can slide your tote bag over a suitcase and make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So this tote bag is a superior product because of the way that it has that sleeve on it. So you've got a sleeve here. That's where your handle's going to go. If you have a two-toe suitcase, that also works. You can put that right over the handle. And I've also added another pocket. So you can put a magazine in here or some of your papers. So together, this set, if you were to buy it online, retail price, it would be $90. Right now, it's $48. So that is almost half price. But even better than that, I'm actually going to add one more piece. You're going to get an extra turquoise Caddy Deluxe. So now we're up to $130 worth of products. And if you place your order today, I'm actually adding one more piece. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I don't know if you've seen these before, but these are fabric purse inserts. They're soft and nylon and lightweight. There's 13 pockets to these. These normally retail for $19.99 online. If you order yours today, not tomorrow, but today, I'm going to throw one of these in there. So you've got about over $150 worth of products. If you order it tomorrow, you won't get this, but you'll still get the 3 pieces for $48. And you can find me on handycaddy.com. And let's see, how am I doing for time? Oh, I've got 7 more minutes, so great. I also wanted to show you my kitty caddies. So you won't believe how much stuff you can put in a kitty caddy. There's little pockets on each side. Now, people wanted handles on them, but actually, the kitty caddy that I have at home, this is what mine looks like. And I cut the handles off of them. So I don't need the handles, but I tell you, I have it so full. These are only $10 online. So you can find them. They're called the Kitty Caddy at handycaddy.com. And maybe you noticed my ruler leggings. Have you seen them? I'm the only one that has them. You can see them online. And I have them in regular size, OS. I also have them in plus size. So these retail for $25 if you're getting the regular size and $30 if you're getting plus. So that's one of the things that I wanted to add in there. Okay, and then Handy Caddy, the basic Handy Caddy, these are 3-pocket versions. These retail for $34.99. Oops, right here. These are not on sale, but the other ones, the deluxe version, are 14 inches wide. And actually, I find that superior for the quilter because we all carry these 12-inch rulers, and they fit nicely inside the Handy Caddy Deluxe. So again, the special is $48 for three pieces. You're going to get the tote and 2 deluxe caddies. Well, let's see. Here's the caddy is in here. You're going to get, you can choose a red and get this, and then get your turquoise Handy Caddy for $48. And today I'll throw in an extra purse organizer. And tomorrow you'll still be able to get the other three parts for $48. So I hope you take advantage of the sale. Okay, let me show you my face. And I look forward to seeing you in person. And I think I'm done and right on time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sharon. That was great. I do have the Handy Caddy myself, and I love it. All right, so we're going to bring you back in a few minutes after we interview Patti. So is Patti ready? We're just going to go right to her so we can make up a little bit of time. Remember, the code word is applique in case you missed it. All right, Patti, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you perfect, and the video's perfect.
Okay, thanks, Beth. Hi. All right. Well, today is Red, White, and Blue Wednesday at Patti Cakes Fabric, and I made this wreath for 4th of July. And you can also use it, you know, if you have red, white, and blue decor. So what I did
Patty, do you have a water feature or something on? Because we can't hear you so well.
Walmart store. I really was looking for a 16-inch wreath. I thought that would be a better size for Okay, I'll turn it off.
Perfect. That's much better.
Okay, that was my little air conditioner because it's about 94 degrees here today in beautiful Fort Mojave, Arizona. And so we're going to get back to the project now. I think you can hear me better, hopefully.
Yep, that's
And
perfect.
so we started with an 18-inch wreath. As you can see, it has 4 rungs. And what I did is I cut 2-inch by 7-inch, let me check mine, 7.5, 2-inch by 7.5-inch pieces. And if you have, one suggestion I would have is if you have arthritis or your fingers don't work that well, I would cut them a little bit longer, just so it makes it a little bit easier to tie on the wreath. And so what I did is that there's 4 rungs, as I mentioned. I started on the second one from the inside. And then you want to fold it in half. And then you just tie it on in a little bow, half of your bow. And I'm a symmetrical person, so I made each one, went around and I started here, and then at the next rung, I started with the same color and went all the way around, and to get this effect. I have also seen this made where you can make it look like a flag, and you put all the blue on one side and all the red and white on the other side, which was really stunning as well. Really liked that. Now, if you don't have a rotary cutter and mat, like I use for mine, you can actually take a snip on your fabric and then rip your fabric, and then of course throw it over your shoulder if you like, the Eleanor Burns method. So it takes a total of 7 fat quarters for a 14 to 16-inch wreath. I used 9 in mine. And I had some strips left over, as you can see. Okay, so we're going to go over that one more time. We're going to cut them 2 inches by 7.5 and fold them in half. If you like, you can press these to make it so that your edges are a little bit even. You can also take a cute pair of pinking shears and pink the ends if you want to, or you can leave it. If you do rip the pieces, it makes it look more country, makes it look more casual. I wanted a little bit more finished look on mine, so that's how I did it. So I added a couple of extra blue. You can kind of take a look at it once you're working on it and see if there's any holes that you need to fill in. So I worked on the second rung and the third rung, and I left the top one and the bottom one unfilled. And I may go back in and fill in a little bit more, or kind of waiting for Dollar Tree to get their 4th of July fun stuff in, their little signs that you can paint with, you know, like chalk couture paint. You can add a big bow here if you like, little trinkets that you can find at the Dollar Tree. That's one of my favorite places to go for DIY if I don't have it in my shop. So that's our project for today. And then I wanted to show you the next project. This is really fun. This just came in from Kimberbell. And actually it's to make a pennant, or you can string them along. They're really cute designs. Now, so what you would do is you would cut these out with scissors or with your rotary cutter, and then you would fold this in half. And then you're going to sew those and then make a casing and string them up. So you have a real cute banner. And what I decided to do with mine is there was perfectly 3 rows. So along with a banner, I wanted to make a table runner. And this is a really nice long table runner that will work for a picnic table.
comes out to be about 42 inches long. And you have the cute motifs left. And then all you have to do is add a border onto each side. So when you join them together, you get this cute little border here in between them. And so they cut perfectly apart. So you get all of that in one panel. So you can either make the pennant or the little banner across your dining room area or your outside picnic area, or you can use the second panel and make the table runner. Also, I realized that what I could do is I could make 3 placemats out of one panel. And so you would cut it here, right here, and that's like a perfectly sized placemat. And then you can use the other ones that you have left over to make some cute, you could applique these onto, I like to buy linen at the big box, linen fabric at the big box store like Hobby Lobby or Joann's. And then you can applique these onto the linen napkins. And then you would have a really nice, more decorative linen napkin to use for the holidays. And I think that would be really cute. Or you could cut these out and applique them onto cotton or linen. Use a serger if you have one to attach your 2 pieces of linen together. It just feels really nice to have that linen next to your mouth when you're, maybe not for barbecue. You might want to just use regular napkins, but for a little fancier picnic, if you will, or put them in your picnic basket, it'd be a really cute idea for the upcoming season. So we also have by Kimberbell the red, white, and bloom charm packs, and they'll be on sale in our shop with your coupon code. Our coupon code today is Patti10, P-A-T-T-I, the number 10. That's what you'll use today for any items that you want to purchase in our shop. We also have the Main Street Celebration line. This is a really cute bench pillow. We have the patterns for the sewing version, and this is the completion kit that we have that gives you all the cute light set, the buttons, and the little pieces of fabric that you're going to add to that bench pillow. So it has applique glitter, buttons, fairy lights, the mylar, and this is a really darling project, and I will have it on display at our first show with Rusty Barn, which will be Denver in July. So we're really looking forward to that, to see you all there, hopefully. So the pattern, these are all sold separately. So in case you already have the pattern, you can buy the accessory pack separate, or if you want to make another one for a friend or a family member, that's available. We also have the Kimberbell America That I Love pillow pattern. And this is a little bit older pattern, but it still is just really, really cute that you may want to pick up. It has a little banner here that you could actually use some of the motifs that are in the panel if you decide to pick up the panel and add it to your pillow. And then you would have a complete ensemble, a bench pillow, table mats, and a table runner, and your banner pennants, as we used to call them back in the day when I was a kid. So we also have the fabric backing kit for that project. It's really, really cute. It has fireworks, and it says Land That I Love, My Home Sweet Home, watering cans, just a really cute fabric. Okay. And we have the fat quarter bundles available for purchase. This is our free gift today too, to our lucky winner with the code applique, I understand. And so you'll be receiving a bundle that you can make your own wreath with. So we have some other, one thing that I neglected to say is that I'll show you how to fold a fat quarter so that you get the maximum number of the strips for the wreath. We'll go back to the wreath for a minute. So you're going to fold it in half this way, okay, the long way. And then you're going to trim up the salvages, and then you'll actually get 22 pieces of strips out of one fat quarter if you cut it this direction. Let me turn that. So you'll be cutting it from here to here, and then you'll trim your, first you'll make this 7.5 inches wide. So you're only losing a little bit. Actually, you can use the leftover pieces to add in to your wreath where you need it if you have a little bit of some holes to fill in. So we have patriotic fabric. This is called American Truckers from Henry Glass. This is a great fabric, nice and bright. At Patti Cakes, we like bright colors. We want to show our patriotism in bright red, white, and blue. And we have some other great fabrics. We have Moda Grunge this week on sale for 15% off. We have our Notions, which we also carry BoNash. We love the products. We've demonstrated it at shows. And we also have that in our shop as well all the time. If you're ever in the Laughlin area, you want to go to the casinos, drive down to Fort Mojave. We're in Fort Mojave, Arizona, which is just right out of Needles, California. And we're open on Fridays and Saturdays unless we're at a show. And you're more than welcome to come to my warehouse and shop, pick up your order, whatever you'd like to do. We'd really love to see you again and meet with you. And I thank you for listening to my Red, White, and Blue with Patti presentation today. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Patti. That was fabulous. I love the how easy, it's kind of like one of those mindless things, making that wreath, tying up the fabrics, super fun. And you can do it for any holiday. So, and we all have fabric, but we can all use more fabric. So any holiday to decorate that up. All right, so we're going to just go right into questions and answers. We're running a little bit long today because we've had some technical issues. So I just wanted to tell everybody thank you for sticking with us. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in right now. I know is Beryl, I have a couple of questions for you. Does the BoNash work on jean hems also?
Yes, they're right here.
Perfect.
You just use more powder and leave the iron there a little bit longer so it can penetrate the thickness of the fabric.
Okay. And then does the pressing sheet work well with a wool mat?
Yes, you can use the pressing sheet with anything.
Okay, perfect. All right, those were the only questions that I kind of wrote down as it was happening. So, ladies, if you have any questions for any of the vendors today, go ahead and type them in. And I do want to remind everybody that we are starting shows again. Boise, Idaho, May 20th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Oklahoma City, I believe is going to be the third week in June. Okay. Is the another one for Beryl? Is the powder permanent on all fabrics? I think because you can reposition it for quilt basting, but it's permanent for hems. That's where the confusion is.
Yeah. Well, the repositioning, that's why I say hardly any powder at all, and you can reposition while it's still warm. But once it's actually fully set and you've used extra powder to put it in place, then it's going to stay, and it's meant to stay.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then Sharon, what material are your legs made out of? The leggings.
That's a good question. The leggings are made out of 90% polyester and 10% spandex. But I'd like to tell everybody that the weave makes it breathable. Just because it's polyester doesn't mean it doesn't breathe. It really means you really have to know how the fabric is knit together. And everyone says that the irresistible leggings are super, super soft. The shows are great because you actually get to feel them. But I'll take anything back if you're not happy with the product. So it's guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can send it back to me with a full refund, no problem.
Perfect. And Patti, do you sell the wire wreaths? Patti, can you hear me? Patti, do you sell the wire wreaths? Huh. Who knows? Patti, do you sell the wire wreaths? Okay, we'll find out that answer and we will type it in.
Oh, there you
right.
go.
Okay, so what other questions do we have here? On the Handy Caddy, does that include the shipping?
I'm sorry, it does not include the shipping because 3.5 pounds after it's all weighed out. So the product is already reduced to like 75% off, and hopefully you'll be able to appreciate that I have to charge you the shipping. But it costs approximately $9 to $12 to ship out a set. So that kind of gives you an idea. It depends on where you live.
Okay, perfect. And if people are having problems with your coupon codes and whatnot, can they just give you guys a call to order?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so ladies, because we're all not that techie sometimes. So if you ever have a problem ordering, you can give the vendors a call to get clarification and to get that in. But you're gonna want to go to quiltcraftsomall.com and there's going to be a link right there to go right into the vendors that are demoing today for their specials. And then we also have a weekly link for the weekly specials. Okay. Unable to get on to purchase BoNash packet. What am I doing wrong? Okay, girls. How about if each of you just tells real quickly what your coupon code is and the best way to order it?
No coupon code for me.
Okay, nope. It's already programmed in for Handy Caddy. Linda, what about you? I think you might be frozen, Linda. Okay, Beryl, how about you?
I think it says no coupon code, and we've just got it down as show
It's already
special, I believe.
If you go to the store, it's on the first page of the store. You don't go into the sewing products part of the store. It's on the first page of the store when you click on store on the website.
But any problems, just call us. We're in the warehouse now. That's where we're doing this.
Okay. And Deb, Linda, can you tell us your special again? Linda, are you frozen again? Can you hear me? Okay, I think she's frozen again. It is one heck of a day today for our technical issues. Okay, so we're just going to call it quits. And if you're having any technical difficulties ordering, just give everybody a phone call. All the vendors are happy to take your orders. You can call them or you can go in through the website. Okay, we will see you next Wednesday at 2 right here. And if you missed any part of the show, you can go to our YouTube channel, sign up for that so you never miss anything. And we will see you next week. Have a great week.
Okay, bye.
Several